Welcome to hour number two of the Art Lewis Show. We are expecting, and apparently, from what I heard internally here in the building from CBS, the Supreme Court was expected to rule this morning on the president's authority to levy the tariffs that he has levied over the past year. And from what I heard on the update, and I only got part of it, it appears that the court has ruled against the president. We are awaiting some updates, and we expect one in about 8 minutes or so, and we will bring you that. But that will be an interesting ruling, and then we have to go through what it means to business, to trade, to us. More than likely, there's something like $179 billion that has to be refunded if they rule against him, as apparently they have. And it will be interesting to see how this all comes down. But again, we will await final word from CBS when we get an update. But it does appear, at least from what I heard on their, we have a closed circuit loop with CBS. They make announcements over this loop, telling us of upcoming special broadcasts, bulletins, things of that nature. And it was on this loop that I heard that the court ruled that he did not have the authority under the acts that he was using. So we will have to wait and get further information. But if the court rules that way, then so be it. That's fine. That's what they're there for. It's going to be interesting to see how all these companies worldwide will line up for refunds, because they will. And, the other question, too, is, what does it mean to our pocketbooks? If they've ruled against his emergency powers under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, does he try and sidestep it? Does he find a different way to do it? But if the tariffs go away, the newer ones that he's imposed, does that then translate into price reductions for us? I'm here to tell you I doubt it. It was estimated by a group called the Tax Foundation that Trump's tariffs cost each U.S. household $1,000 in 2025 and could go to $1,300 in 2026. But in order for that to stop, the prices would have to go down. And as you well know, it's easy for prices to go up. Somehow, never quite as easy for them to come down. All right, open phones this hour, so let's take one up to this first update we're waiting for. This is Joe and Willard. Joe, good morning.
Yes. I was thinking you talk about the tariffs, and how our good judges just seem anymore that they're, whatever they do, it's always against Trump. The one that I'm waiting for, and I hope really does get up there and get passed, is a birthright citizenship. The only country in the world stupid enough to let people come from all over the world, pop a baby, and all of a sudden it's a citizen.
Yep.
I'm
sure it'll be there.
I'm hoping that when it does come there, that somebody will have common sense and put a stop to that.
Yep.
And we'll talk about.
You have to remember too, though, this decision. Let's say they rule against Trump on these tariffs, or that they have. That carries even more impact, because it's a conservative court. It's his court.
Well,
and if they rule against him, they must really have strong legal opinion on its validity.
Well, I don't know, Art, anymore. It just seems like our country is going to hell in a handbasket, and
in some ways, yes.
What used to be a good conservative judge
wait a minute. Well, let me stop you there, because see, I don't want a conservative or a liberal judge.
I don't either, but
I want a judge who judges what comes before the Supreme Court on its constitutional validity. That's all. That's their job, to judge against the Constitution those issues that come before them. I don't want them to do it based on their political views or anything else.
How many of the judges sit up there and do that, though, Art?
I'm beginning.
On the liberal side of the court.
Well, these days, more than you might think.
Yes.
Well, on the conservative side, there seems to be more movement that they're willing to move to whatever the issue is and judge it that way. You are right, on the liberal side, they don't seem to move as much to the right. But again, I want them all 9 of them, to judge whatever the issue is against the Constitution. That is their job, as I see it.
But the liberals believe it's a living, breathing document.
Well, it is. It can change because there's an amendment process, and the amendment process makes it a living, breathable document.
But it's not done the judicial way.
Well, no, the judiciary can't change it.
Yeah, but they do, though. That's the problem.
Well, they don't change it; they interpret it.
Exactly.
All right.
And yeah. Well, one more quick one, Art.
Real quick.
When Carl talks about how Trump is making money, at least he didn't sell his soul to the devil like the Bidens did.
Yeah.
And as long as you've been around, Art, have you ever seen a president in your entire life pardon his entire family before he left office?
No, I haven't seen that.
I have never either.
All right, Joe, I got to go because we're going to get one of these updates. All right, I got to go, Joe. We'll talk to you later.
I know it. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, it'll be about a minute now. We're going to hear from CBS. Apparently, the Supreme Court has rendered a decision on the tariffs, and that decision appears, at least from what I heard, I could be dead wrong about this. We'll find out here. But what I heard was that they ruled against the president's use of the act that he used, the Emergency Powers Act, to issue all those tariffs. So we will find out what the court is doing. It was widely expected that there would be a decision issued today on the tariffs. And I know the president's been waiting for it. Certainly the international community's been waiting for it. Businesses have been waiting for it. And it's finally here. So we will find out what it's all about and what it means to all of us. So we'll take time out now to go to CBS for this update on the Supreme Court decision revolving around tariffs.
CBS News special report. The Supreme Court has ruled President Trump's tariffs are illegal. In a 6-3 decision, the court says the president did not have the authority to enact them under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. CBS News chief legal correspondent Jan Crawford.
This is the most significant U.S. Supreme loss for a U.S. president, I think, in modern history. It is invalidating what is the cornerstone of President Trump's economic policy, ruling that he does not have authority under this federal law, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, to levy these sweeping tariffs.
Justice Neil Gorsuch had expressed concerns during oral arguments in November.
Congress, as a practical matter, can't get this power back once it's handed it over to the president. It's a one-way ratchet toward the gradual but continual accretion of power in the executive branch and away from the people's elected representatives.
Again, the Supreme Court has struck down Trump's tariffs. CBS News special report. I'm Michael Wallace.
All right, so there you have it. It is now official. We will take a break to earn some of our tariffs. And then we will be back to the phones here on the Art Lewis Show.
Gotta go.
And the court said nothing about how the government should return that money. So it will be interesting to see where it goes from here. But for now, anyway, this is one of the biggest setbacks that the president has suffered in his presidency. Gene is in Bay City. Up next, Gene, good morning.
Good morning. Quite the day. Yesterday, Trump, talking about Prince Andrew, he said, it's very, very sad what's happened to Prince Andrew. What I would like Trump to say, the fact that 14, 15-year-old girls got raped, that was a very, very sad thing. Those girls were given to one man and passed to another man, to another man, to another man. It was horrible.
Well, from what you know
and
about
they're
it,
living with that. How Trump could at least say that was a very, very sad thing that happened, and he says nothing in that direction.
What I would have liked to have heard him say was he will now have to face his accusers, justify his actions, and be found by a court one way or the other.
Right.
That's where I'd leave it. I mean, all of this stuff about the girls, it's terrible. What happened, Epstein was a bad man. We know it. We know what he did. But, we have to move on. Now, those who have guilt and can be proven, fine. They should have to face justice. But
his administration has never had the girls, the grown woman now. They have never called them in and talked to them and interviewed them. They have just kind of ignored them.
Well,
but
it's
anyway,
not. It's I don't know. This Epstein thing is out of hand. It's out of hand for those who have guilt, and it's out of hand for those who may have known Epstein and have guilt by association but actually never participated in anything. Their names are being dragged through the mud unfairly.
If you found out one of your very close friends was having sex with a 14-year-old girl, would you figure out some way to stop it?
No, I'd call the police.
Thank you. Okay, now what I really called about.
Real quick, go ahead.
I hope all these politicians get rich. I was a terrible, terrible businesswoman. When I was young, I raised Arabian show horses. People would come with their daughters, and the daughter would fall in love with one of the mares, and I'd think, well, if I sell this mare to this young girl, it's going to have a really, really good home with love and attention. And eventually I'd lower the price and sell it for a lot cheaper. I was a terrible, terrible businesswoman. And, of course, I'm paying for it now because being 86 and being retired for 17 years, all my savings are dwindling down, and you have to worry about some miracle I live into my 90s, am I going to run
God bless you. Do you still have the miniatures, and do you still sell those?
Yeah, I've got four and a baby. I got 5.
Oh, well, hey.
Well, anyway,
they're adorable. I mean, I wish I had the ability and the type of facility you need to have one of those miniatures. I always thought they would be the greatest pet.
Well, I would help you with advice if you ever decide
I'd need lots of advice. But the advice I'm giving myself right now is don't even think about it.
It's not it's really not that hard. We had sheds and little paddocks, And all I really had to do when I got older was put in the hay and make sure the water tanks were all clean and full of water. And the only hard part is when they had the little babies. Then I had to have somebody helping me a lot. But anyway,
I've seen some videos of people that actually have them in their homes.
Yeah. Well, I'm way off what I wanted to talk about. I want to say I hope all these politicians make a lot of money. I mean, more power to them. I hope both sides and everybody makes a lot of money. But this is what bothered me this lately. As far as I'm concerned, the Saudi Arabian prince is about as evil as they come. He killed that reporter by torture. They have tapes where they sawed off the limbs of that reporter while he was still alive.
Get to your point, Gene, because I'm running out of time, so get to your point.
A Saudi Arabian man just bought, I think it was $500 million from Trump's son for those cryptic coins. And a few days later, Trump gave Saudi Arabia a lot of private classified information about AI. Now,
I hadn't heard it.
If that was payback, it's up to what you guys think. But to me, that sounds bad.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you for listening.
Good
God
enough.
bless you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, 989-752-6111 is the number to call on this day where the Supreme Court rebukes the president, probably one of the most dramatic presidential rebukes in history. Comes down in terms of tariffs.
But the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize...
Back with you on a day with a historic decision from the United States Supreme Court. The conservatives split 3-3, joining with the liberals, so we had a 6-3 majority ruling that the president could not use the Emergency Powers Act for reciprocal tariffs like he did. It does not impact tariffs on steel and aluminum. Those will stay in place. And more than likely, some of the tariffs that are included in this ruling will return under different authorities. That's my gut feeling anyway. But in the meantime, those who've been impacted, companies that have been impacted by the tariffs and had to pay it, will now seek a refund. And I think it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $179 billion or something like that total. It's a pile of money. So time will tell as to what happens. Just wait and see. Justice Roberts was joined by the three liberal justices and fellow conservatives, Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett. In the majority, Clarence Thomas, Brett Kavanaugh, and Samuel Alito dissented. A rare setback for the administration at the Supreme Court because of that 6-3 conservative majority. But again, it leaves in place tariffs imposed on steel and aluminum because the different laws were used for that. But many of the other tariffs that were reciprocal are now struck down. Let us go to, look like Rich. Rich in Saginaw. Rich, good morning.
Good morning. Since your father was a federal agent, I'm thinking, or I'm hoping maybe you can answer this question. And so it's kind of a far-fetched scenario, but if a president were to say he disagrees with a Supreme Court ruling and says he will not follow it, what branch of the government is responsible for enforcing that?
Well, that's an interesting question. More than likely, Congress would be called upon to proceed, possibly with an impeachment proceeding. Let's be honest, no federal agent's going to walk into his office and put him in handcuffs and walk him out because he disagreed with the Supreme Court. But there are mechanisms in place through Congress to have action. More than likely, that would be the scenario, because it's three equal branches of government, and so the court can rule. But if the president decides to decline and go his own way, then the challenge becomes for Congress to step in and say, well, wait a minute here. They become the arbiter between the court and the executive branch, if you will, the judicial and the executive. So it'd be the legislative branch that would have to take action to attempt to hold responsible the person.
Okay. I was hoping you weren't going to say the Department of Justice, because I didn't think that they would be doing that.
No,
so.
it'd be difficult for them.
Yeah.
It'd be difficult for them because
you.
they're involved. The court's in their department. The president is their boss. It'd be very difficult for them to do that. Where Congress, on the other hand, is the people's palace,
Right, exactly. Okay, thank you,
All right,
Bart.
good
Thank
enough.
you, Bart.
Rich, thanks for calling. Bye-bye now.
Yep.
And let's talk to Dennis in Standish before we take a break here. Dennis, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How you doing?
Doing well.
Just a quick question. If these companies that were affected by those tariffs can seek monetary refund, what about the companies that pass the tariffs along to the consumers?
Good luck.
Are they going to refund their consumer?
Good luck. Are you going to seek a refund?
Well,
would you
I
do
don't
that
even
with?
know how. I wouldn't even know.
You wouldn't be able to.
So
You wouldn't be
I don't
able
think
to.
they're due, or I don't think they should be due a refund.
Well, I would say if they lowered their prices in accordance, then okay, maybe. But, I mean, well, I have to challenge that. Here's why. If the money were collected illegally as determined by the Supreme Court, then the company should have a right to get it back. But at the same time, the company should respect the fact that we, the people, have been paying the difference, and they should offer us lower prices. But you're not going to get it back dollar for dollar. You won't be able to do that. But if they can give us price reductions, okay, then maybe some good comes of it.
Yeah, all you can do is hope.
That's right. Doesn't cost anything, and there's
Thank
no
you.
tariff on it. All right.
Thank you, Art. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye now, Dennis. Yeah, I mean, let's face it. We're always the payor, if you will, no matter what government or business does. Comes out of our pocket. But trying to hold somebody responsible, good luck. We'll take a break, come back, and finish up. Lines are open for you, 989-752-6111.
Hi, this is Jim Gall.
And we return in our final moments of the Art Lewis Show. Let's go to Reese, and we'll talk to Dwayne this morning. Dwayne, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Calling about the time change.
Yeah.
I like to see it stay darker longer at night, and the reason being my son grows sweet corn, 40 rows of it, and it's a reason in the morning the corn will have a lot of dew on it. Some days it don't dry till about 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm not going out there to pick corn and get soaking wet. Or at night, 8, 9 o'clock, I can still go out there and the corn will be dry. I can pick my corn for them. We got 3 different corn stands, so that's what I like to see the time.
Well, wouldn't you wait? I'm confused because wouldn't you want it lighter at night when you're picking the corn?
Oh yeah, I meant lighter at night.
So you want daylight savings time? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good. That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah, because what the squirrels don't get. Never had that problem before. No, first couple of years were good. Then a couple of years we had the raccoons coming in. Not that bad. And this last year, something was really getting into it, eating the whole thing. I mean, the whole ear. I walked the corn patch one day, and he said, I know what. He chased 3 squirrels out of the corn patch into the soybean field behind my house. So I got these Catholic squirrels out here eating my corn.
Well,
the reason I say Catholic, I got a cemetery down the road. That's where the squirrels are coming from, the Catholic cemetery.
Oh, gee. Well, good luck with the squirrels because they're prolific. I've got a bunch at my house.
That's okay.
I have some black walnut trees, and I wait every year when all those walnuts fall. I know I don't have to go out and pick them up because I know where they're going to go. Squirrels are going to get them all.
Stopped the guy's house one day, and it's my buddy's Uncle Barney, and then we went in the house, and he's sitting at a table, cracking black walnuts. I tried breaking these things. They're a son of a gun.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah.
And anyway, Barney says, "Yeah, it takes me 8 hours to get a quart of the meat out of the walnut."
Yep.
It takes him 8 hours to fill up a quart jar.
Yep.
He says, "You know what made me mad?" I said, "What?" I run out of walnuts. Oh, that's all you do all winter, sit there and crack walnuts.
Yep. I've known people who tried running them over and doing all kinds of stuff to get them open. But yet those little squirrels can get right in there. That's what amazes me. So, anyhow, all right. Good enough, Dwayne.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too, sir. Thanks for calling. Bye-bye now. Yeah, you think about nature. And he's right. If you picked up a black walnut that fresh off the tree just fell, you'll play heck trying to get the nut out of it. Hammers, you name it. I knew people that put boards on them and drove over them to crack them and do all kinds of things. But yet that little squirrel can come along and pick up one of those babies and in no time get the meat. Pretty impressive when you think about it. Think of the strength of their jaw in that little mouth and how they can crack those things open and get out the nut. Well, anyway. By the way, we didn't have time to talk about this, but the president and Trump administration has extended for at least another 90 days the continued operation of the coal-fired J.S. Campbell Power Plant operated by consumers in West Olive. That's in Ottawa County. It's the last of the coal-fired plants. It was slated to discontinue May 31st of last year. But the utility's effort to reduce carbon emission in its power generation was the reason. But the Trump administration ordered in that month, citing an emergency in power capacity to keep the plant open. The consumer says they will comply with that federal ruling. But it's a very costly thing, apparently, just to have one plant open and pay the bills. All right, we'll take our last break and then come back and close out and tell you what's ahead on Focus.
Hi, I'm Stan.